Baltimore is brought to you by the Snyder Law Group. Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Welcome back to Fox 45 Morning News. Coming up on 7:30, I'm Patrice Sanders.
And I'm Tom Rogers, and we are coming to the end of May. We're about 3/4 of the way through it. We've got a big weekend ahead of us, a 4-day weekend, too, for some, right?
For some.
Not too bad, yeah, I know.
That's nice. At least a 3-day weekend, or for me, it's a 2-day weekend.
Yeah, same here, 2-day weekend. But we'll have fun Monday.
I was going to say, and it's going to be beautiful weather. You can't you can't be upset no matter where you're going to have to be. We have your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
Yeah, we have Candace Stoll looking at that commute for you this morning. Jonathan, though, let's talk about this Memorial Day forecast.
Yeah, Tom, overachieving with that 4-day weekend there. Okay, we have sunshine now in the Mile 1 Towson behind me, but another major weather maker over the Midwestern U.S. I just checked. It's actually snowing in Denver, Colorado right now. So these cool temperatures in the 50s and 60s will take. And you see here in Baltimore, mainly clear skies. Look at that rain, though, that big weather system from St. Louis westbound. Flooding, snow in the mountains. All right, let's take a deep breath and enjoy what we got. 60 degrees, dry sunshine to start, breezy sun this afternoon, near 70 after the 91 yesterday. I'll let you know how long the comfortable weather lasts and Memorial Day forecast, 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. Just got word of a new accident out of loops out of the Beltway, the activity right near Loch Raven, so we'll continue to follow it, but now we're seeing delays as far back as Hartford Road and even leading up towards 95 as well. As far as the alternate, even if you can exit off at 40 or Bel Air Road, that will help save you some time. The other issue is we had a crash out along the southbound side of the JFX right near Ruxton Road, and now we're stuck with this delay. Stick with Charles Street or Falls Road instead. Back over to you.
Thank you, Candace. New overnight, another shooting in Baltimore leaves a 27-year-old man hurt. It happened just before 10 on Pentland Drive. That's right off of Northern Parkway in Northeast Baltimore. Police say the victim was shot multiple times. Now, it's just the latest shooting in the wake of another violent weekend that saw 10 people shot, 3 fatally. The latest of those deadly shootings Sunday night in West Baltimore, an area that has seen a recent uptick in violence. In the last 30 days, there have been 33 murders in Baltimore, the greatest number of them happening in West and Southwest Baltimore, where the 2 districts meet. Police say they've assigned additional resources to that area, but people living there, they just want to feel safe.
Got to worry about sitting on a step is dangerous. You know, we should be able to live in a city where we feel safe and comfortable. Should be able to come to a store where we feel safe and comfortable.
It's hard to be a black man, but a young black man at that. And then, you know, a lot going on with we just trying to survive.
According to the Baltimore Sun, 2 additional sergeants, 16 officers have been reassigned to the Western District indefinitely to address the recent increase in violence there.
New this morning, another horse dies at Santa Anita Park, becoming the 25th since late December and the 2nd in just the last 4 days. These latest deaths coming after the park put in stricter protocols and suspended racing for a period of time earlier this year. No word on whether the racetrack is planning to suspend racing and training again. Now, the Stronach Group, which owns both Pimlico and Laurel Park, also owns that Santa Anita Park. In a newly released statement, they say the Stronach Group is committed to advocating for the health and safety of horses and riders and will continue to work with stakeholders in California and nationally to drive further progress.
Baltimore-based company Under Armour, along with 170 other companies, want President Trump to remove footwear from the list of goods that were hit with those higher tariffs. This after the president increased tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports from 10% to 25%. Well, according to the Footwear Distributors and Retailers of America, this move could cost shoppers more than $7 billion a year.
A former Baltimore County School Board member is calling for the state prosecutor to investigate after more than $400,000 taxpayer dollars were spent on an audit of county schools that she says was never conducted.
And as Project Baltimore, Chris Papps explains, the bombshell accusation comes as the Baltimore County School Board set to pick a new superintendent.
The Baltimore County School Board waited more than a year for the results of the audit. When it came back with no major red flags, everyone celebrated. But one former school board member says that's because this is not an actual audit.
I view it as a bait and switch.
A strong claim from former Baltimore County School Board member Ann Miller.
The audit you voted for as a board member
is not the audit that was done.
That's correct.
How did that happen?
That's what I would like to know.
All in favor, please say aye.
In the fall of 2017, BCPS board members, including Miller, who left in November, voted to pay $414,000 for an audit of the school system's procurement practices. The audit was ordered as Superintendent Dallas Dance was sentenced to 6 months in jail for perjury for lying about income relating to consultant work. A year and a half later, the report, which found no major concerns, was released. This was Interim Superintendent Verlita White at the time.
We need to make some tweaks and adjustments, certainly, but our fiscal house is in order.
But Miller says the report likely found no major concerns because it's not an audit.
We've gone through this process for a year and a half, thinking that we were getting a true audit, and now that it's all over, now is when we find out that that was not at all what was conducted.
Project Baltimore reached out to UHY advisors out of Columbia, which did the report. They declined to answer our questions. But the firm doesn't even call its own work an audit. They call it a report. And the first sentence clearly states, we performed consulting services, and it was done using consulting procedures.
There's a big difference between auditing standards and consulting standards. Auditing standards require the auditor to be independent and objective, where a consultant can be hired to meet set objectives.
Baltimore County Schools administrators declined an interview with Project Baltimore.
Hi, Miss White. Chris Pabst with Fox 45 Project.
Even though when we approached Interim Superintendent Verlita White outside of her office earlier this year, she said she would make herself available for interviews.
Will you be more accessible to us moving forward?
Always. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
White told us that in February. Since then, we've requested 5 interviews with her, including for this story. She's declined them all.
Everybody understood the importance of this audit, but we're still without one now, $414,000 later that the taxpayers are responsible for.
2 weeks ago, the State Office of Legislative Audits started an audit of Baltimore County Public Schools. Miller believes the result of that will be very different than the one BCPS paid $414,000 for. And we want to hear from you. And do you have a follow the money story that you want us to investigate? Call our hotline, send me an email, go to foxbaltimore.com to follow our progress. I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.